What's up, college basketball fans? I'm Sam Gillette, your host tonight of Bourbon, Beer, and Basketball. We got another fun-filled show for you tonight with a few twists and turns along the way. But right now, let's get into it. We've got 5'8" from Plano, Texas, gold-certified Team USA and Plano West basketball coach, Mr. Jonathan Yates.
What up, peoples? I'm in the building. The party can start.
And coming at us from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 6'2", founder of the Sunbelt Syndicate, Mr. Dominic Cressetto.
We got to have like some cool handshake thing here, right? You know, like the basketball players do. There we go.
No powder.
And at 5'10" from Twin Falls, Idaho, connoisseur of all things basketball, Mr. Josh Fife. And
muted.
Broncos are on a roll, baby. Let's go.
And at 5'9" from Columbia, Pennsylvania, gamer extraordinaire and founder of River Shark Gaming, Mr. Casey Wick.
Going on.
I miss my calling to be a PA announcer.
There you go.
We are down a man tonight. Nick Wade has some family stuff he's got to take care of, but hey, that's not going to stop us from getting into this. So let's start out with some brand shout-outs. Yates, who are you drinking tonight?
Well, right out of Farmers Branch here in the DFW area, we've got a little Three Nations Brewing Company, a little Texian beer. It's a Mexican-style lager. It's only a 4.3, so I may not be feeling this one too much, but it tastes delicious.
It sounds delicious. All right. Dominic, what you got tonight?
Oh, man. Well, I didn't get to run out today. So we just did a Coastal Carolina inspired show yesterday on the Syndicate because they've been on a little bit of a winning streak. So I'm going back to episode 1 throwback already and going with the Shots of Clears beer here tonight. So we'll crack this puppy open.
Craft.
That sounds like corporate America.
It tastes like it too.
Josh, have you gotten rid of your doctor yet?
I didn't get rid of him, but I'm going with some of you Texas people. Lone River Beverage Company out of Houston, Texas.
Nice.
It's a 4% agave nectar and lime hard seltzer. So easing back into things here.
Oh, nice. That sounded crispy. That sounded like Texas.
It's like Sprite.
All right, Casey, what you got on the table tonight?
I ain't got shit on the table tonight. I'm hydrating. So
So water?
Yeah, I've been drinking energy drinks fucking all day. So gotta fucking mix it up. It's been cold as balls up here, man. It was 5 degrees out this morning. I had so many layers on. I had to use the bathroom. It's hard when you got 3 inches of dick and fucking 5 inches of clothes on.
Ladies and gentlemen, this show does come with a parental guidance warning. There may be some language not suitable for children.
I'd hope children ain't watching this.
Not anymore.
There's the charge.
All right. Well, I've got a good old Texas faithful. Yates, you could probably guess what this one is. A good old Dr. Pepper. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Doesn't love a Dr. Pepper.
I've got
They have a peach flavor.
An All Seas IPA from Carbach Brewing in Houston, Texas. Another Houston beer.
Ooh, another cool can.
Yeah. I go for the cans. It's 6.8%. It's the only one that I have tonight. And excuse me. It's the only one I have tonight. So yeah. And they didn't sponsor me. I had to buy this one. So I had to go to the good old HEB because I got 20 minutes or 30 minutes before showtime or 30 minutes before I was supposed to be in studio and said, oh, yeah, I don't have one.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yep, been there too.
All right. Wes Schman. This is one of your guys.
Koshman, I think.
Koshman. Wes Koshman. All right, there we go. Good deal. Wes Koshman says, hey, guys, he loves the stuff.
Nice.
And I didn't know you guys stream. Well, now you do.
Every Wednesday, right here.
Yes. So, can.
Ooh,
So
that was a good one. Now, did you even have to cool that, or do you just put that outside and it's cold enough down there today to be nice and cold for you?
Not in Houston. It's still in the 60s down here. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is nice and crisp. You can taste the 6.8. Oh, fun fact: it's a limited edition can. So I caught him at a good time.
All right.
Nice.
All right. All Seas IPA, Carbach Brewing, Houston. That is a unpaid plug. If you're over on TikTok, I will try to get your comments over there. Otherwise, hop on over to YouTube, Bronco Nation Updates on YouTube, and put your comments in the comment section. We'll read them on air. So let's get into this, fellas. The point shaving scandal. Josh, you're the one that brought this one up in our little group chat. Why don't you take the lead on this one? What happened with the point shavers out there?
Yeah, man. You know, this has been going on for years, but this one hit the fan. 39 players, 17 teams. 4 players have played college basketball in the last 2 weeks. No allegations of games this season, but hard to believe. We're going to obviously let all the legal stuff play out, but man, I feel like this one hits a little harder than some of these scandals that have popped up over the years with that many players. And it's gone so far as to involve Chinese basketball and former NBA players. And some of the articles were pointing out guys that were deeply connected to the college basketball world. So it's alarming to say the least right now.
Yeah.
Apparently there's 3 players that play for some of the lower level teams that are playing this year that were a part of that.
Mm-hmm. The Philadelphia Inquirer had a great article, guy named Mike Silsky. He posted, and can I read a quote, Sam? Because this one came big. He said, even if law enforcement authorities keep catching the fixers, the credibility of college basketball and sports as a whole will still be in peril. The more arrests, the less public will trust what it sees on the field and the court. The corruption can appear total and endless, yet so many stay strangely silent about it.
Yep. It makes you wonder, those guys that got caught that are playing on teams this year, wonder how well those teams are going to do now that that kind of player isn't on them anymore. Like, you think about it, you're point shaving, and you're like, oh, we can't let this go over a certain amount of points, so my shots are going to be off, or I'm going to turn the ball over or something like that to keep the score low, or go off because you need to reach a certain over-under or whatever. Yeah. So you got to wonder how many of those teams that maybe historically were bad or in the middle now start doing better because the group of guys out there wanting to play and wanting to win that aren't part of that are now playing to win without that untimely turnovers and stuff like that. So that'd be interesting to watch, see how well those teams end up doing.
Yeah. LaSalle's former coach, Fran Dunphy, did a pretty big interview, and he's kind of the first guy to come out and really talk in depth about it, but I kind of felt bad for him. He was going way back, wait, some middle of December game. Did I notice anything? Should I have seen something? Yeah. When you got, that guy's pretty, well respected in the college sports world. So if somebody like him's questioning, like, what if you're a brand new coach and this hits your program? I mean, this is just the dominoes I worry about right now.
Yeah. And I think a lot of these schools were the mid-major level, right? Where, let's be honest, it's probably easier to hide, right? Like you got a nationally televised game where a guy's missing open layups or something real obvious. It's pretty noticeable, but a gym with 1,000 people in it and no one watching on anything but, ESPN Plus, probably get away with that type of play a little bit easier. And also that level isn't as good. Right. So, then you just say, well, he just had a bad game. So, I mean, in one regard, it's smart. In another regard, if you want to look at it from a comedic side, what if 2 of these teams were playing each other and both guys were supposed to, both star players on either side were both just shaving points at the same time because someone didn't realize that they put them in the same game, in the same situation. I really doubt that happened. But, just as a little bit of comic relief, it would be funny to see two like star players just continuing to miss shots and pass it to teammates they knew were going to miss.
Silsky's article went pretty in depth with some of the indictments, and guys were getting text messages at halftime. They were, and really what seemed to put this on the FBI's radar was you were getting $250,000 bets on middle of December Kennesaw State games on halftime props or certain rebounding props. And so the question I posted was, does this lead to some sort of change in prop bets, or do they do away with it completely?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy though, whenever you think about it. I mean, betting has gotten so out of hand in all sports that it's come down to this. And it's in every aspect of every sport. Just the greedy people is what makes it easy to find. Once you find it, then there's no unfinding it.
Yeah.
So,
and they seem to be targeting kids who did not have the big NIL deals.
Which makes sense. Oh, you got passed up. Well, here, let's take it to your school. We need you to do this, and you'll get what, 50,000, 100,000.
That's exactly it.
But is anybody really surprised with like the recent influx of money into the sports that the kids are selling their souls for?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Sadly, no.
Nope.
Yeah.
And
Let's be honest.
it's happening every sport, kind of every level,
Completely.
and it's just it just came out now.
That's it.
Again, on TikTok, I see our numbers rising up over there. If you're watching over there, we are live on Bronco Nation Updates YouTube channel. Go ahead and pop on over there and be part of the show over there. You get to see everybody's faces, not just my ugly mug and their voices. And subscribe, and you can leave your comments, and we'll post them on air and have a conversation with you. So there are now 3 undefeated teams left in NCAA basketball Division I. Cincinnati, they're playing in about 7 minutes. Arizona, undefeated team number 1. Then you have Nebraska playing again in about 30 minutes against Washington. Both are home games. And Miami, Ohio, the first team to 20 wins. They've been back-to-back overtime games with wins over Buffalo and Kent State. They get a much-needed break before they hit UMass on the 27th. Is Miami starting to feel the pressure? 2 back-to-back overtime games, or is it just the, hey, we're not going to lay over for these guys, we're going to make them earn it? Yates, what you think?
I just think it's a case of everybody knows about them.
Yeah.
When you come in, you start beating up on teams, you get an undefeated record, you get the reputation of, being the top dog. When you're the top dog, you got the target on your back. So now they're getting everybody's best every single game, and then there's times where the MAC's been called like the midweek madness kind of conference. They're kind of known for that because one of their top teams usually loses a road game of sorts and in the middle of the week, which that could be something to look out for them because they got, Buffalo coming up on the 3rd and Ohio on March the 6th. So,
yeah. Nebraska and Arizona, they got a little bit harder road to hoe. Don't have the strength of schedule Miami has. Which one of those two is gonna falter first? I mean, it's almost safe to say that Miami's probably going to be undefeated until MAC tournament. They're playing good, even with everybody trying to do their best to beat them. They've gotten through the gauntlet of their schedule. You'd say they're pretty much there.
Miami still has Buffalo at Buffalo.
Yeah, that's what day you say that was?
February 3rd.
February 3rd. So yeah.
Yeah.
So once they get past Buffalo, then they're probably, if they win that one, they'll probably be undefeated until tournament time.
I'll throw one more out to you.
Yep.
It's an anomaly, but this game I believe is going to be at Marshall in the MAC Sun Belt Challenge. You've got 2 guards for Marshall that are really good in Jalen Spear and Noah Tashuti. And then you have a 7'4" center in Matt Van Komen, sorry. And that may be something the MAC doesn't see a lot of. Could really good guard play and very consistent play at the center position with the guy who's 7'4", cause them some issues. Again, it's a road game, I think, so that's going to be one that could test them. And I got to give credit to Yates, and I think Josh both last week were saying, look out, Buffalo is not a team that you're just going to walk around. Like, they are going to be difficult. And then Kent State being another really good team who's currently sitting in second place in the MAC. So that part of the schedule there was pretty good. And like you said, that second test against Buffalo on the road may be even tougher as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don, did you point out Van Komen for Marshall? Is that who you're talking about? 7'4", dude? He is a beast. Yes.
Yes, he is. And he's not one of those, sometimes you get those centers, typically European, who come in tall, very skinny. Sometimes, we've seen some from Africa come in and be just really tall, but not very dominant because they don't have the muscle mass. They can't push people around. They can't, grab rebounds off the boards. They're really just there to, have the ball not be reachable by most of the other guys and maybe occasionally shoot a short jumper. That's not Van Komen's game. Like, he's strong everywhere. Obviously, shooting is just like any 7'4" guy. It's not necessarily his strong point. But that's not what he's going to be doing because he's got the excellent guards to hand the ball off to. So, yeah, he's dangerous.
And you can't teach 7'4".
Nope, definitely can't. We could use him on our starting roster, I think, right here. We could use a 7'4" guy.
We're just a scrappy bunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Back to Arizona and Nebraska. A much tougher schedule, much tougher conferences. You got the Big 12, who's Utah just became the first sub 500 team with their loss yesterday, I believe. And then you've got the Big 10, that's arguably the best basketball conference in the nation right now. Who's going to take the first fall here, Arizona or Nebraska?
I'm going to say Nebraska.
It's going to be Nebraska. I mean, Arizona might have a little bit of a tougher road, but I feel like it's going to be Nebraska. It might be tonight.
Yeah.
Washington averages, I think, around 80 or 81 points a game. Let me look at that number and fact check that. 80.1. 80.1 points per game. Nebraska averages 81.4. So probably going to get a bunch of points here. I think your first 1 to 80 is probably going to win.
Yeah.
Casey, what were you saying?
Oh, I was going to say Nebraska. Like they have Michigan coming up, and they have Illinois, and they're both Michigan's on the road, Illinois is at home, but then they got Purdue at home too. So I think their games have been a lot closer. So I think it's going to be Nebraska's going to be the first one to lose between Arizona and Nebraska.
Not to mention that they haven't been there before either, so they're not really accustomed to playing undefeated where the target's on your back, which is the Yates' points could be why they lose tonight.
Both teams have pretty tough 4-game stretches. Nebraska's got Michigan, Illinois, Purdue 3 out of the next 4. Arizona's got Kansas, Texas Tech, BYU, and Houston all in a row.
Yeah. Yep. And Kansas is coming on strong too.
Yes.
Yeah. Kansas is good.
Don't you think if Nebraska can go 3-1 in this next 4-game stretch, I'll believe. Like, I'm not sold on Nebraska yet, but you go 3-1 in that stretch, okay, maybe. They've got 4 upperclassmen who get 4 of the 5 most minutes on their team and a freshman. That's just lights out. But you get older guys, been there. They don't shy away from the big stage as much. Nebraska, I don't know. I wasn't a believer at first, but I'm starting to believe a little more.
Yeah.
Now, on the flip side, I don't know if y'all checked this Arizona schedule out. And I think we talked about it a little bit last week, but you're getting ready to go at BYU, at Arizona State. You got Oklahoma State. Then you got at Kansas, Texas Tech, BYU again, at Houston, at Baylor, got Kansas again, then Iowa State.
Yeah.
Yep.
Talk about a stretch of games.
No kidding.
Jeez.
Yeah, if if Arizona can go 4-0, they'll be national title contenders. Not that they're not now, but they'll favorites, national title favorites. If they can stay undefeated during this next 4-game stretch, they'll what, almost a lock.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
They could probably lose from here until tournament time and still win the national title. At that point, let's not test that though, Arizona.
Don't do that.
All right, if you're over there on TikTok, we are live on YouTube, Bronco Nation Updates, or the Sunbelt Syndicate. If you want to pop off over there and take a look, you can subscribe, leave your comments, and we'll read them on air. I may miss your comments over here, so that's why. All right, let's look at who the biggest pretender is. Now, let's look at conferences as a whole, and then let's go into, in each conference, who's the biggest pretender in each conference.
This is the most valuable voices. So let me spit for a minute. Boozer bodies every game. Call him heavy artillery. Board wars in the paint with stat lines bent like geometry. Pete plants seeds of fear while the Wildcats harvest. In Chapel Hill, Visser controls the boards, leaving the game tarnished. DeBensta drops dimes in heat, cooking defenders daily. Braden Smith drops assists like signals from future statically. Caleb crashes boards, a rebound king with royal decree. While Lendenberg's doubles double up, Big Ten throne, he claims it freely. Zuby keeps the red storm brewing, wave after wave. Toppin crafts shots with precision like he's paint push brave. Dent dictates the pace with UCLA flow, baptized in speed. These names carved in the NIL era work to leave a legacy while they lead. That's the first Syndicate Spitfire, and I am not a paid rap artist. So there you have it for the first one ever, fellas. Oh,
That was neat.
Was amazing.
that was the first time I actually did that out loud all day. I read it a couple times.
Nice.
Without the glasses, too. It's like I was actually tinted and just like, oh, God, this is much harder to read than I thought it was going to be. Going to need a couple extra swigs after that one.
All right. What do you guys think about that?
Need some Eminem music to pump yourself up beforehand.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely did. I tried to mention a couple of big names. So, we had Boozer from Duke, Pete from Arizona, Visser, I think. Is that, Josh, can you help me with that? Is that how it's pronounced?
Yes, sir. And I heard you throw Caleb in there too.
Yeah. Caleb crashed the boards. Braden Smith from Purdue, DeBensta is BYU's, pretty good player there. Lendenberg's from Michigan, Zuby from St. John's, Toppin from Texas Tech, Dent from UCLA. Those trying to hit some big name players, just throw out a little something different for this this show here.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot more talent spread out now that the NIL's a deal. Used to be they're all in one or two conferences and one or two rosters inside those conferences, which is why your Kentuckys and Kansas and all them have been struggling as of late, in my opinion. But with the NIL, that's the one thing that's good that's come out of it is the talent has spread out. and you get better basketball as a whole versus just watching one conference dominate it all.
True.
Sam, question for everybody.
Answer.
Do you think this whole NIL thing, I just wonder about the obscure towns who have the local billionaire who just says, you know what, let me throw 25 mil because I've got a bunch of oil money, not calling out Texas Tech, but let's say
There you are.
something like that. I'm not going to complain if a Boise State rep wants to throw 25 mil at the program, but let's say you get some little town that can pay guys anything they want. Does that shift college landscape and we get a Davidson that truly goes all the way, Quinnipiac, something like that? Just question for the whole here.
I don't think it's a just buying the talent. You got to buy the coaching too.
True.
Yeah, I mean, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have somebody that can help manage that game, it's not going to be anything. But not just that. Kids also are going to facilities as well, right? Like a Quinnipiac is not going to have the same sort of facility that Duke has.
True.
You're never going to see it. They might if they get enough guys. I just don't see that being something that happens in the long run.
Yeah. And it'd have to be a investment over like a decade versus just a year.
Yeah.
Because if it's a flash in the frying pan, it's not going to do anything. It's got to be sustained. Otherwise, you're not going to get the sustaining talent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think one point that was made today on XM radio on my way home was with football, Indiana has Mark Cuban helping them out. But Cignetti is what makes it all work. So you have to have somebody who makes it all work. The reason he makes it all work is because he evaluates talent properly, just as he pays talent properly. So you can't, just bring in the top talent because then you're paying top dollar and you're not going to have any depth, right? And that's obviously more important in football with a roster the size it is, but it's also going to be important in college basketball because these are still young kids. There's still going to be injuries along the way. You must have some depth on your roster. So you can pay the most to your starting five, and then you give peanuts to the rest. What kind of team chemistry do you have when all these top guys are driving the nice fancy cars, staying in the nice spots around town, and then you've got the guys that are struggling to make ends meet because you're not really giving them nearly as much money? You can't see that. Yeah, like you guys said, that's maybe you could get that to work for a year. But you're not going to get that to work for 2, 3, 4 years. And then those guys are going to be gone. And then your chemistry that you may have had is gone now anyway. So, yeah, it's more difficult than what Indiana made it look like. That's for sure.
Yeah. And credit to Cignetti. I mean, just as a coach, being able to bring all that talent together and let them play as a team and win the Natty, that's hard to do. Especially whenever you have the historic went from being the first team to 700 losses to national champion in 2 years. That's pretty impressive.
I wish. Google me.
Yeah.
Casey's going to switch his sweatshirt now because of that.
The hell I will. Dude, they're like, I guess they are bad enough in basketball for long enough that they all just started donating money to the football program. Have you looked at the NIL amount of money they've used in the last 2 years for that football program? It is insane by Indiana standards. Like they're competing top 15, with the Ohio States, with all the big boys. Like Cignetti going there, hell of a coach, hell of a talent evaluator, hell of a motivator. But he got everybody to buy in.
Yeah.
So here's another thing with Neil. Do you guys think, and we'll move on after this, but do you think that the NIL may have been pushed, from the Supreme Court, but by influence from the professional leagues? The product getting too watered down at the professional level with the one and done athletes trying to make that jump and having nowhere for them. Do you think that maybe the professional league started making that push? Say, hey, we're being overrun up here. We got no place for these guys. People aren't retiring as fast as what guys are coming into the league. Pay the players so they stay in college longer.
I don't think it necessarily has to deal with that. I don't think that the pros were in on that.
Well, if
Not a
they were,
bad
they made a
thought.
terrible decision because now these guys are making more money in college and they don't have a reason to leave early at all. So now the pros may be not seeing them for 3 years and they thought they were going to have a one and done, coming in.
Well, you got to look at it too. Not seeing them for 3 years. Now you got a talent that's 3 years more experienced.
True. You also have that. Yep.
And you don't have to send them to a G League to develop. So,
true.
Just a thought that I had.
We just had a G League player who's allowed to come back into the college.
Oh God, that whole thing. You talk about the kid from Alabama?
Yep.
Yeah.
Kid from Baylor too.
Yeah. Yep. That was the other one. Well, isn't he playing?
He's allowed to play now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he got enrolled at the semester, immediately eligible.
He's only been playing like 6 or 7 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in.
Well,
Yeah. I feel so bad for the
Drew's a smart
NCAA.
coach.
Yeah.
He's a smart dude. He's not going to bring him in and play 40 minutes right now because he knows that's going to get on ESPN negatively.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. All right, let's go before we were rudely interrupted by the Spitfire.
Be rude tonight. Yes, it was.
Biggest pretender, first as a conference as a whole, and then we'll get into each conference who the biggest pretender is. The ACC, the Big 10, the Big 12, and the SEC, the Power 4 conferences. Which conference is the biggest pretender going into come tournament time?
I don't think I made up my mind on this still. There's just so much to pull from, but
I mean, I think I said it last week too, but if we're talking conference as a whole, I think the ACC is your pretender of the Power 4.
Yeah.
I still believe it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they only get 4 teams in this year.
Yeah.
Maybe 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here, I'll give some statistics while some of us are still thinking about this. The Big 10 has 5 teams ranked within the top 12 or top 11. I'm sorry. The Big 12 has 6 teams ranked within the top 19. The ACC 5 in the top 25, and the SEC has 5 within the top 21. So yes, I mean the ACC, if you go by that metric specifically, does seem to be the weakest out of the 4 at this moment.
Yeah. Casey, you want a dog on the SEC or the ACC?
Oh, any chance I get the SEC? The ACC is they are down this year. I'm sorry, man. Being a Notre Dame fan, I prefer my kids to go to class, not zoom in like the LSU players. And we've all heard about all the other SEC schools. Being an SEC graduate don't mean anything if you don't go to class.
Yeah.
I could probably have a diploma graduating too. Now. I know. Isn't that sad? I mean, we could do a whole show on that, but it's just sad that like kids go to college, and I'll use the air quotes for college because college is supposed to be an experience, but these kids are too popular to go to class. Yeah, the ACC outside of Duke and maybe Virginia, I don't really see like anybody that has a roster that can make a deep run, like Sweet 16 path and further. I mean, the SEC does have better coaching and better talent, though. So as much as I'd like to dog on them, I think they're going to be a better postseason shower than the ACC will.
What you got, Josh?
I really struggled with either ACC or SEC on this one. I think Duke may be the ACC's lone hope right now, and that kills me as a Carolina guy to say that. I did put UNC or Louisville as the biggest pretenders in the ACC, but then UNC looked like a typical UNC team tonight. So I don't know, but yeah, I don't know.
Don't count tonight. Don't count.
Yeah,
so let's talk about that. Let's go stick with that. Go into the ACC. Who is then your ACC pretender? Josh.
I put UNC/Louisville. Those are my 2 pretender teams right now. And again, Carolina guy, that kills me. But I want to point out UNC's tempo the last 10 years. They've averaged 47th in KenPom. This year they're 181st. That is not the Carolina team. So that's hard to watch.
Wow.
Who you got, Yates?
In the ACC, I think it's between two teams for me. One is Louisville because they are ranked 23rd. They started off really hot, but they're 3-3 right now in the conference. But the other one is Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
They're 6-1 in the conference right now, 16-4 overall, but they've shown some, some cracks, so to speak, recently, and could just about bust the dam open there.
Yeah. Clemson was my choice as well. They just I don't know. I don't think I
They're
trust
not
them.
athletic.
I don't trust them as a good basketball team yet.
Can't trust them in football lately either.
What do you think, Dom?
Yeah, I got Louisville as well. 2-4 against top 25 teams. I would say when you do look at the losses that they've had, I would still deem pretty much all of them good losses, right? At this point in the season anyway. But you've got to start winning some big games, against some tough opponents at some point for me to think I can trust you in a tournament setting. And to me, they haven't done enough of that yet for me to have any trust in Louisville.
Yeah. And Casey.
Yeah, I'm going to go Clemson on that one. Big time. I just don't trust them. And then, SEC. I don't know. Like, I struggle with that one. I would say, like, I'm probably thinking like Missouri. Like they have next year's class looks good, but I don't see it this year.
Yeah.
Does not help you right now.
Nope.
So, Yates, how are you going to try to not pick Arkansas in this one?
Well, it's hard not to because I know we're just going to break some hearts because it's what we do. You get used to that kind of thing in Fayetteville.
They don't call you the Heartbreak Hogs for nothing.
Exactly. But I think the biggest pretender in the SEC is going to be Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
Their last 3 games that they've now lost, Florida, Texas, Arkansas, they got out-rebounded so badly. They're showing no signs of physicality. Arkansas had 13 dunks and what was that stat? 20 some odd points, a lot of points in the paint. Just Vanderbilt's not ready to match up with some more of the top teams like everyone thought they were.
Yeah, that's who I got to is Vanderbilt. They started out strong, but they're cracking now. And your points in the paint, I was going to pull that up before I started talking, and I didn't. Anyway, points
50.
in the paint was 50.
It had 50 points in the paint.
So 22. Yeah.
Out of our 93 points we scored, 50 of them were inside the paint.
Yeah. You don't win games whenever you give up the inside like that.
No.
Unless you have Steph Curry shooting from the outside.
And I was like, and they're not shooting it that well right now either.
Yeah. Dom, who you got out of the SEC?
Yeah, I hate to be kind of boring here. I've got Vandy as well. 2 of those losses, Yates kind of spoke on it, but to Texas by 16, to Arkansas by 25. If you average all 3 losses, they're losing by an average of 15 points. So that's just concerning, right? You guys talked about the hot start. I mean, they have some really good wins on their schedule right now, but this type of slide, as Yates talked about more specifically than just the stats, that's the concerning part.
Yeah. Josh, you got any stat magic you want to throw on this?
Yeah, I'll be different. I'm going to say Bama's my pretender. They had a lot of chances. Purdue, Gonzaga, lost to Arizona by 21, lost to the team we're talking about, Vandy, and they barely squeaked by Oklahoma the other night by 2 points. And Oklahoma, they're not the best Oklahoma version. They've lost 5 in a row in the SEC. So I had Bama as my pretender.
Good pick.
Can't argue there either.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the Big Ten. You almost want to say Nebraska as the pretender, just because you don't know if they can hold that success for the rest of the season. But I'm going to go off script, and I'm actually going to go with Sparty, just because Izzo seems to do just enough to get him there, but never enough to win it here lately. So I think he's riding a lot on his past success, and I think Sparty fans are starting to get a little restless there. And who knows? They could be calling for his head by the end of the season. With the coaching carousel stuff going around with teams that have consistent wins, not necessarily in basketball, but in football, getting fired because they can't win the big ones. James Franklin. So what do you guys think?
I think Izzo had one of the best lines of the week, talking to one of his players. Told him that he couldn't guard his mother. And he's like, yeah, my mom's 99. And in the press conference, they ask about that. So she had a little game? Because no, she couldn't play at all. Because if you locked him in the gym in the nursing home, that'd be a heck of a battle.
Oh man,
I think your pretender in the Big Ten. I guess if we're going to call them that right now, I'm looking at Wisconsin. They're sitting at 5-2 in conference. And I don't really trust them right now.
Yeah, they gave Michigan their only loss so far.
Yates, I'll back you up on that. 28-point loss to BYU and a 30-point loss to Nebraska, 16 to Purdue. That's rough.
Yeah, I can see that too. I just wanted to be different because I knew everybody else was going to pick that. Dominic, who you got?
Well, I got another different one for you.
Nice.
Ohio State. I'm looking through their schedule, and I'm just not impressed with a lot of their wins. I mean, they beat Notre Dame by 1. We know what Casey thinks of his team this year. It's not overly impressive. They had a big win over St. Mary's, but that is Mount St. Mary's. So that doesn't get you any credit because that's not the St. Mary's team that everyone talks about. They lost to Pitt. They have a loss to Illinois and North Carolina and Nebraska. So when they needed to beat the big, better teams, they haven't done it. I'd say their best win so far is UCLA. And honestly, I don't think that win's all that impressive. So to me, Ohio State is kind of the pretender here right now.
And Casey, what you got?
He took mine. I was looking at Ohio State, and I watched them in the Notre Dame game earlier in the season, back when I had hope, and wasn't really that impressed with them. And I mean, yeah, they're very hit up and down. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if when they play Michigan, they make it a game, but then they'll turn around and lose the next game by like 10 to 15 to somebody middle of the pack in the Big Ten.
Yeah. One more time on TikTok. If you want to join the conversation, you want to see the everybody else on the screen other than what Dominic's posted on the Sunbelt Syndicate there, hop on over to Bronco Nation Updates YouTube channel. Subscribe and post your comments there. We'll put them up on screen and read them whenever they come through. Moving on to the Big 12. Casey, let's start with you. Who's your pretender in the Big 12? Since yours was stolen the last couple times, who you got?
Oh, you know who I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the BYU Cougars. When they play like the top talent, I just don't see it. Like, their loss to UConn earlier in the season. UConn's a pretty good team, but then their loss to Texas Tech to me really showed some cracks. Like, I saw it in the group text about saying how BYU is Texas Tech's B this year, and it doesn't look like it gets any easier. They got Arizona, they got Kansas, they got Houston coming up, then Arizona and Iowa State again, and they end the season with Texas Tech. I think by the time it's all said and done, they're going to be the pretender in the Big 12.
All right, Josh, who you got? And if you still mind, I'm muting you.
Well, then I better pick BYU because I'm afraid you're going to pick Kansas.
Nope.
Yeah, BYU. DeBonce's crazy good. They've got a kid named Richie Saunders who can step up but Texas Tech showed how to beat BYU the other day, and it was shutting him down. He went 6 for 17 from the field, only had 6 rebounds. It made BYU look like, oh, okay, we got the recipe on how to beat them. And to go 6 games in the NCAA tournament, you got to have more than one. So BYU is my pretender.
Yates.
Iowa State.
I knew I should have went with me first.
Muted.
Yeah, you should have went with you first. My bad, guys. My bad on that. But, yeah, they've got a lot of issues going on there. Like, their half court offense is just not any good. So, like, if they can't get out and run, now what?
Yeah. If Joshua Jefferson's not on, that team's not on.
Yeah.
So it's sad. Whenever you have one player that can determine whether you're going to have a good night or a bad night, it's potential for pretender status. Because all you got to do is take out one player and everybody else crumbles around you. Dom, who you got?
Well, I thought I was going to be the guy that was crazy picking a high-ranked team that was performing very well, but you guys went ahead and went above me. I thought we might see some West Virginia, some UCF.
No, we know they're pretenders. Come on. Now.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm figuring now. I went a little crazy here. I said Kansas. They are great at home, but they are not great on the road. That's where they're struggling. They are just 2-3 against top 25 teams. They're 8-1 at home, but just 2-3 away. Again, those are top 25 teams that they've played on the road, so their schedule is pretty tough on them. But I don't know. You team like Kansas, they look like a better team at home, but they've got to start showing that on the road a little bit. Maybe that's harsh because, pretender, you're thinking maybe they're going to be bounced early in the conference tournament and then possibly in the NCAA. I don't know. This team could still get past the first round or two and wouldn't surprise me. I would be surprised if they're there towards the end, in the Elite Eight or the Final Four. I just don't see that out of Kansas this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Dom, now you got me confused on why you didn't pick Arkansas in the SEC. We're really good at Bud Walton Arena, but you get us out of Fayetteville.
Yeah. Well, I think
beat us by like 25.
Yeah, no, Arkansas was definitely there, but those 3 straight losses by Vandy, by how they lost them, was just really unimpressive. So I don't think any of us really had much of a choice on that one.
Yates, I had not watched Arkansas until just the last week, and Darius Acuff, is that the dude?
Yeah.
He is SGA part 2 from just watching him.
That is a grown man, 18-year-old.
He's insane. Yes.
He's ridiculously good.
So crafty. He's amazing.
So there's a lot of talking heads out there that have the SEC as the best conference, getting 10 teams in. I don't see it. Maybe you guys do. I mean, yeah, they can be good, but are they, ESPN's got that deal with the SEC. And if you watch our college football roundtable and Pop's pop-offs, you know the rants he has about the SEC and the ESPN and all the money and everything to it. But does that deal kind of bring a perceived bias to the basketball court as well as the football field where people get in over there? Or is there something that I'm not seeing in the SEC? Yates, let's start with you.
I mean, there's absolutely something there, obviously. I mean, you go back to last year, Texas nabs the last spot in the NCAA tournament, basically. They're not really very good. They really have no business getting in. And you had some other deserving teams that got, kind of snubbed on that. Well, why did you do that? One, Texas is Texas. People are tuning in and there's going to be money there. But also now you've got the SEC logo behind them. Yeah. That's double your money right there, because I'm not one of these guys, but there's weird SEC homers out there that now root for the conference versus just their college. Like, I could care less if Texas A&M goes out and loses every single game. Thank you. Beat them every time. But there's other people that can switch alliances. So they'll tune in for an SEC game because it's the SEC. Yes, Sun Belt.
No, I was saying that's me. I jumped on the
I
JMU
know.
bandwagon for the CFP, and that's not my team because that's my team. But you know,
No, I get it. That's
We're
different in a
fighting
small conference, right? It's like
yeah, we're
been
fighting a
there.
bigger war. That's all.
But you know, when somebody from Arkansas is going, yeah, the SEC has this many national championships. We have one in 1964. Georgia, Bama, Florida, Auburn, LSU. That's who has all your titles. Other than that, shut up.
And the SEC loves to claim the co-shared titles as, you know, their titles.
Oh yeah, I used to like some SEC stuff, but not like that.
I just laugh at like the conference that talks about being the best, like claims the participation trophy championships.
Well, because now we can go. The reason is just now, and you got to think small. You got to think small brain here. Now you can go. The national champion beat me. I could beat everybody.
Oh my god, I've been seeing that all.
And if you were the team that beat them in the regular season, it's our national championship. We beat them.
Taking that UCF mentality.
Well, I brought it up 2 weeks ago with a selection committee. Which conference has 2 people on it and nobody else does?
Yep.
Yeah.
The SEC again.
At least they have a G5 as the chair. Kind of help level that out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was a smart move.
Yeah.
They needed it.
But guess what? Unfortunately, he's in the SEC geography. So
right.
if there's some swindling,
Got another one, baby.
We will schedule half of our non-con games with you next year if you vote with us.
There you go.
Yep. All right, Casey, you got anything you want to add to that one?
To what we on? I got distracted. Squirrel.
SEC having bias because of the contract.
I mean, of course, I got the bias. It's ESPN. It's Disney. You know, the sphere of influence is big there. Plus, they got away with it all these years. I mean, they are the model of consistency. Let's get all these teams in, and let's make it all sound like these teams are all big and powerful, and they play each other. You know, it's Titans and Goliaths going head to head, and then when they play somebody out of conference and they get their collective butts whooped, it's oh well, we'll beat them 9 out of 10 games. We just had a bad game.
Yeah.
The SEC is a joke. I'll say it. I don't care. It's a joke. When you want to talk about being a power conference, well, yeah, you bought your way into it. Like they were
Money
smart.
wins, baby. Money wins.
I mean, going getting Texas and Oklahoma, you have the whole southeast of the country locked in from a media rights deal.
Yeah.
Then the Big Ten said, "Hold my beer," and they went and got the West Coast.
Yep.
And now you're seeing all that money, in the media rights being used to, influx of talent there. But as far as basketball is related, I mean, the NIL, like we talked on earlier, has made it all, an even playing field. But I think we're also seeing the lack of players being coachable, for one, and two, the quality of coaches, because who wants to coach with all of this drama going on?
Yeah.
Tom Izzo deserves a statue for being a model of consistency.
Big Izzo guy. Big Izzo guy.
Izzo's interview a couple of weeks ago, there was a vibe that I was like, is he like out? That was the first time I thought, man, Izzo is ready to bail on this. And he's the last one, because you're right, Casey. He has been the guy.
Yep. He should be the commissioner of like the whole thing, honestly.
Yeah.
And for the record, I've never been a huge Izzo fan, especially back when he was like recruiting those top 5 teams year in and year out. But the man, like, he's endured, and he's an actual coach. Nowadays, I feel like half the time you got to be part babysitter and like part cheerleader and part coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These kids are soft.
All right. Well, on TikTok, if you want to, we're about to take a quick break. If you want to hop over while we're doing a break so you don't miss anything, hop over to YouTube, search Bronco Nation Updates, subscribe, leave your comments over there. We'll read them on air. We've got a lot of viewers on X right now. We love our X viewers. But if you want to be part of the show as well, do the same thing. Go ahead and pop over and let's get you on the show. Bronco Nation Updates YouTube. Let's make it happen. So we're going to be back. We're going to take a quick break, about 2 minutes. We'll come back and have some fun. All right. Welcome back to Bourbon Beer and Basketball. I'm your host, Sam Gillette. I'm joined by these fine gentlemen, Dominic from the Sunbelt Syndicate, Josh Fife from, where are we going to call you from, Josh? We need a fun little location for you.
I mean, Twin Falls isn't very fun, so you can just say Chapel Hill. I'll live in Dom's basement.
Cold down here. That's why the hoodie's on.
Hey, I hope you enjoy a 7 and a 4-year-old too, because I'm bringing them.
And then we have Team USA's only hope at basketball coach, Mr. Jonathan Yates. and gamer extraordinaire, Casey Wick. Don't kill his dog and there won't be no problems.
Casey, don't ruin this and tell us you don't actually have a dog.
Oh, I got two.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. Everybody don't steal them.
One is sleeping behind me.
Nice.
All right. Well, if you've been tuning into the show, you know the second half, we kind of look at the lesser conferences. So let's jump right into it with the American East. They've got 6 of their 9 teams within 2 games of first. Now, there's one more conference that has that kind of disparity, but or not disparity, but competition. But is the American East, is that the most competitive conference, non-Power 4, from top to bottom? Who wants to go first?
I mean, it could definitely be seen as such. You know, I mean, we did bring up, you know, UMBC having their, you know, the big upset when they did that. Vermont has made a run, I think at least once that I remember. These other teams, you know, UMass Lowell, they're tough out. You know, they're not great record-wise overall, but that's in conference at 3-1.
Yeah. A team that was kind of mid to lower, I think they're actually lower into their conference last year. New Jersey, the Highlanders, 4-1. They look really good right now in conference. I don't know, man. It's hard to tell with some of these teams. I mean, from basically from Vermont up. Bryant's not having the greatest year, the year that I thought that they were going to have. They were my preseason or pre-conference pick whenever he did our first show. But they're 2-3 right now. But they've been there before. They know what it takes to make it. So maybe they turn it around. Dominic, what do you think?
Yeah, I think UMBC stands out for me, even though they're currently sitting fourth in the conference technically, I guess, due to tiebreakers, because there's a couple of teams that are all tied at 3-1, but they are 10-7 overall, 6-2 at home, 4-5 on the road. This conference as a whole struggles to win games on the road, and just like a lot of other mid-majors, that's because some of them are scheduling pretty well outside of conference and playing some tough opponents. I mean, they played at Dayton, at Georgetown. They played against Buffalo. I think Army's actually surprisingly decent this year, right? So they lost to Army. And then you mentioned Bryant earlier. They did lose to them on the road, but I struggle to see a team that I trust a little bit more than UMBC at this point in the season.
Yeah. Casey, what do you think about the American East?
Pretty much everything they all said. As far as most competitive, I'd say it kind of seems like it's one of those conferences where, top half is better than the bottom half. Like there's not really much discrepancy between them. So I'm interested to see how it plays out the rest of the season. Like Vermont usually is, pretty reliable as far as being a tournament contender. But, I don't know. Like the Albany Great Danes are actually looking pretty good as far as being, as long as they're at home. Once they travel on the way, they're terrible.
Yeah.
So I want them to make the tournament and be a competitor there. But yeah, I mean, I'm surprised you didn't pick Binghamton though, Sam, pre-conference. Oh,
No.
but yeah, no, I think it's going to be one of those things. By the time the season's done, the top half is going to be, fighting it out for the top seeds in the conference championship, and then the bottom ones are just going to take their balls and go home.
Yeah. Josh, you agree?
Yeah, I think a lot of us went with Vermont, and I had to do a little homework on this one. They had 7 of the 9 first place votes to start the year, but to point out Casey's thing, Albany just beat them, so that's decent. And then New Jersey Institute of Technology, they went 6-25 last year.
Mm-hmm.
9 wins this year, so good for them.
Yep.
I was waiting for the South Harmon Institute of Technology, if you know that reference.
All right. The A-Sun, it's pretty much down to 3 teams. I mean, yeah, there's still a lot of basketball left to play, but your Austin P, Lipscomb, and Queens, they're going to be one of those 3 are going to be in it. The question is, will any of them be able to be a bid thief to get a second A-Sun team in? I say no, but the question's still out there. Was there any bizarro world that the A-Sun gets a second team?
Not from me. Not from me.
Yeah, as soon as hell freezes over.
There you go.
Well, we are
Pennsylvania.
I said hell, not just Texas.
You haven't lived in Pennsylvania then. Come to Pennsylvania.
Is that conference down to 3-team race this early in the conference slate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, Central Arkansas is 4-2 right now.
Yeah, 2.5 out of first place. So yeah, I mean,
0-9 on the road.
9 on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did also lose to Bellarmine. So
Man, I'm Arkansas.
go Bears. I'm an Arkansas homer. Leave me alone. Go Red Wolves and Bears and
and cousins and sisters and
hey, that's Alabama.
Oh man. I got
Off
a
the
quick shout out to Queens for a fantastic schedule out of conference here. They scheduled Winthrop, Villanova, at Duquesne, at Furman, at Virginia, at Arkansas, and at Auburn. So yeah, their record doesn't look great, but they are becoming battle tested. Some of those games have been decently close. Some of them have been blowouts. The Arkansas and Auburn games were not pretty, but those are the type of games that you want to hopefully pay off in the end. So I like this Queens team that, they're getting a little beat up early, but that could play beneficially when it's just their conference at the end of the year and in the tournament time.
For sure. 42nd toughest conference schedule or non-conference schedule. So, yeah, you're spot on, Dom.
Yeah. The Big West should change their name to Cal plus Hawaii because that's pretty much all it is. But this is the other conference that has 8 of the 11 teams in it within two games of first place. Cal Poly, I think they're there just because they haven't played anyone in the conference yet, or a grueling schedule in the conference yet, as far as some of the other talent there. And Cal State Northridge probably along the same line. So really, it comes down to 6 teams, in my opinion, between Hawaii, Irvine, Davis, San Diego, Santa Barbara, Long Beach. What do you guys think? Is there anyone outside of the Anteaters or maybe UC Davis? I think Hawaii is a pretender in this league. They don't impress me much, but Irvine and Davis have been, and San Diego, they've been going at it for the last couple of years for who gets into the dance. What do you guys think?
Go ahead.
I picked out San Diego in this one. I know that they're not right at the top when you look at the standings, but there's one game difference through most of these teams, or a lot of teams tied at 4 and 3 at the moment. The question I have, Sam, for the Hawaii aspect is they have that weird dichotomy with the travel aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Hawaii's 11-1 at home, 2 and 3 away. I feel like that's going to continue throughout the season, right? Like it's hard to go on a plane and then go over and win games, but then the opposite is true for their home schedule to be really powerful for themselves. But again, like we just said, that there's a very few game difference between the top and almost close to the bottom of this league, to be honest. So if a 2 or 3 game slip up and you could go from first to worst. And so that's really interesting. This may be the most competitive mid-major conference, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. In Hawaii, they've beat UC Davis at home, though. They still have them away. Let's see. San Diego, they lost at San Diego, and they still have them to go home. So we'll see if they can get the rebound there. And then they just lost to Santa Barbara. So at Santa Barbara. So we'll see if they get the rebound whenever they go home. So, yeah, see how they do on the road. But like I said, I'm not sold on Hawaii. I think that they'd probably fare better in the the American East, where they're terrible on the road but good at home.
Yeah,
they'd probably fare better in that conference.
True.
Can I throw some Hawaii stats at you guys?
Sure.
Yeah.
Number 26 in defense, Ken Palm. And if you're looking at their schedule, the most they've given up is 76 with a lot of 40 and 50-point games. However, they're like 250th in offense, and they only have one guy that shoots over 40%. Most of them are in the 20s and 30s.
Ooh.
You got to have 3-point shooters in this college basketball landscape. And to Dom's point, traveling and keeping in rhythm and that kind of stuff, that's brutal.
Yeah.
230-win teams last year. Big West is one of those that's like, man, do they get 2 in if they can do that? But I don't know if we get 230s this year. So
yeah, I don't think they can get it this year.
No.
All right. Anyone have anything else to bring to the Big West, the Big California and Hawaii?
They're changing a lot next year. Davis moving on, Hawaii going to the Mountain West, San Diego going to the West Coast Conference in 27. So it'll be a different conference in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're adding 2 California community college teams.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Cal Baptist, who's losing a bunch of programs, and they're going to flood all their money into football and basketball.
Interesting.
Those community college teams, that's Stanford and Cal, right?
Yeah.
If you've ever been like out west to a football game, it's embarrassing. That state is not part of the United States when it comes to sports.
They get the Lakers.
They probably show up for the Lakers because of all the celebrities going there.
Oh, absolutely.
But I went to Yeah, I went to a Stanford game, and like people didn't show up till halftime. Like it's just like let's go to the bars, let's have fun. Oh, Stanford's playing, we'll go there after.
They're still pre-gaming. They've got to build their tolerance up to be able to stand it.
Oh, I could tell you stories. Oh man, that state.
All right, the Coastal Athletic. Is anybody going to beat UNC Wilmington? The Seahawks.
I mean, somebody will beat them. It'll probably be Elon, but they're not going to get. I think that's your tournament bid is right there, Wilmington.
Yeah.
Hofstra is your highest rated Ken Palm team in that conference.
Really?
Number 109. Seahawks are sitting at 121.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And that UNCW Charleston battle is always a big time rivalry, not far apart from each other. Both gyms get packed out and really raucous when they host each other. I mean, right now they're 1-2, and we'll see if it stays that way. Again, technically, there's a couple teams at 4-2, so they're not a true second place, I guess you could say. But that's just always one of those ones where you feel like it's going to be one of those two teams. Although, like you guys said, I mean, you got Elon Hofstra, and I wouldn't even totally rule out the Campbell Fighting Camels. I mean, you got to love that name.
All right. Let's move on to the Horizon League here. It's basically a two-team race between Wright State and Oakland. Purdue and Green Bay, Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Green Bay, maybe, but they've fallen off. Green Bay was terrible last year. Purdue, Fort Wayne fell off at the end of last year. So I don't think they have the stamina to make it. So is this a two-team race coming down to tournament time? Josh, let's start with you. I see you nodding your head over there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all in on Oakland. They started their season with Michigan, Purdue, Houston as their first 3 games. They have the second toughest schedule in the nation. So talk about battle tested, man. Your first 3 against that gauntlet. That's a coach who's thinking for the long run to me.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. What do you think, Casey?
I don't know, man. Purdue, Fort Wayne is looking decent with a 5-game winning streak at the moment. They seem like they're getting hot at the right time to make a run. Could be a 3-team race, but yeah, Oakland and Wright State, probably going to come down to those two.
Yeah. I got to give the nod to Wright State. They've already beat Oakland twice, though. So, but then you turn around and lose to Cleveland State. How do you do that?
Yeah, it's a gauntlet over there.
Yeah, they 4-point loss to Kent State, 10-point losses to Cal and Toledo. Blown out by Butler. So they've lost to the 2 lowest teams in their conference, Youngstown State and Cleveland State. And they played everybody else nice except for Butler. So.
Hey, and there's a chance.
Yeah. But I got to give the nod to Wright State there. I'd love to see Purdue Fort Wayne. I became a fan of theirs last year when I started doing all this stuff, just because of they're the Mastodons. How can you not be a fan of a Mastodon?
Yeah.
Now, Green Bay's been a surprise this year.
Northern Kentucky Norse, man.
Yeah,
14-7. I will say they did lose to Oakland in a close game. They have Wright State twice and Oakland one more time. The concerning part is they did just lose their last game to Robert Morris, who's towards the bottom of the conference. So you got yin and yang there about they'd really have to be strong against those top teams to flip it, but they've got a chance or opportunity to do so, I guess.
Yeah, their conference losses aren't blowout losses either.
Right.
2 points to Purdue Fort Wayne, 5 points to Oakland. I think their biggest conference loss is Charleston with 11 points. So, and even that's not a blowout anymore. 2 points to Green Bay and then 3 points to Robert Morris. So, I mean, if they play close like that, some of those games, them shots are going to fall. and all you got to do is win your tournament, and
Yep.
you're in. So, all right, moving on. The Ivy League. Everybody in the Ivy League is within 2 games of first place, but let's be real. It's going to come down to Dartmouth, Yale, Harvard, and maybe Princeton, but I'm not sold on them yet. Most likely it's going to be, let me get my French voice on, Yale.
Bingo.
Yates, who you got in this one?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's going to be Yale. But that Harvard Yale matchup's always good because who's smarter? Dartmouth is, but I think it's going to come down to Harvard or Yale, but I'm leaning Yale.
Yeah. Any chance for Dartmouth, Dom? See what I did there?
Yeah, I do. I mean, a chance. Yeah. I mean,
They beat Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's, man, that 9-8 overall record though is like scary to say I can trust them with that overall record. I don't like that.
They lost to Marist. They lost to Bryant. They lost to your App State.
Woohoo!
13-point loss to Miami. Blown out by Colorado State. Blown out by Sacred Heart. Blown out by Florida. And 10-point loss to Penn. So, but they beat Princeton and Harvard and Cornell. Yeah.
They don't get any points for beating Cornell, but
Big
red, baby.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Casey, you want to add anything, or Josh?
I'm thinking Yale.
Yeah.
Yale, number 25 offense in the country, and their 3 losses, one of them's to Alabama, and they still put up 80 on them, so not bad.
All right. Let's see. Let's go to
We got a pretty good comment over here. Hey guys, who's pouring the best bourbon?
Ooh.
We don't have anybody doing bourbon tonight, do we?
Do we have any bourbon tonight, guys?
Yeah, it's because somebody is supposed to kind of
Send out some tasters.
yeah.
Josh.
Hey, I wasn't one to send out the tasters. I was contacting the guy who's sending out the Don't put that
Somebody
evil on
dropped
me,
the
Ricky
ball.
Bobby.
So the 3 poor guys love having you on here. They tuned into our college football playoff shows when we were doing those. Yeah, we're lighting it up tonight with the light beer drinks.
I'm drinking bourbon this weekend. I promise you that.
But mainly because I'm on the road and not in my normal surroundings, and couldn't find a local brewery to get me, or distillery to get me hooked up in time for this one. So, but hey, if you guys want to bring us on and send out some tasters and come on the show and tell us what we're tasting, and we'd be more than happy to make a show out of that, or at least an intro out of it anyway.
Yep. I volunteer.
I volunteer as tribute. All right. Love having the 3 poor guys in here. It's not poor as in they don't have money, but poor as in they poor.
Bad
Anyway.
decisions.
No, we get it. We get it.
All right. So let's go to the MAC. Not the MAC. The MAC. the Metro Athletic at the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. So this one here, you got another one that's got 2 clear favorites, but you really can't rule out Quinnipiac, Marist, and Siena just yet. And on the fringe, the Mountaineers, because last year they made a late push after I had ruled them out, and then they're like, well, maybe, and then they didn't do it. But this one's basically come down to St. Peter's and Merrimack. I'll be happy to be proven wrong, though. So if anyone has a different opinion, speak now or forever hold your peace. Lovely.
It's gonna be the Peacocks.
Yeah, I gotta go
Yeah.
with Peacocks.
I'm going with the Warriors.
Oh,
You got to let them
They're-
fly on this one.
Let him strut.
I was waiting for it.
Gotta let him strut.
All right, Peacocks it is. And then, of course, the MAC. You're basically Miami, Ohio. However, with Miami being ranked, if they lose their conference championship to Akron or Kent State or, God forbid, Ohio, does the MAC become a two-bid conference?
I think if they win every game up until that point, yes.
Yep.
I think it would be that situation will be akin to the JMU thing with, like, you can't put a 5-loss Duke above a 1-loss James Madison. That's going to be the argument for Miami. Like, yeah, the strength of schedule is going to be weaker than some of the SEC teams that are on the bubble at the end. But at some point, you have to reward winning over losing. And I think that's going to be a hard metric to overcome there.
Yeah. All right, we had the MAC, and now we have the MEAC.
The MIAC.
You're getting more sugary as you go down with the names there, Sam.
The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, a team that was absolutely horrible last year, 364 in a lot of the standings. Maryland, Eastern Shore Hawks. Yates and I both picked these guys to in our first show. 4-0, really putting together some quality basketball in conference. They had a decent non-conference slate with games at Nebraska, at Georgia Tech, at Creighton. So another team that really battle tested themselves early, and it's showing up now. 4 straight conference wins. Morgan State, Howard, Norfolk State, Coppin
State.
Coppin State, yeah.
No, they're coping with their losses right now.
Good. I
don't think they're coping that well.
So they're beaten. They've still have to play North Carolina Central. That's pretty much their next unproven test. They've already proven they can beat Norfolk and Morgan State. So is Maryland Eastern Shore the team to beat after being one of the worst teams in the nation last year?
I think they're still one of the worst teams in the nation, even at the top of this conference, to be honest with you. Sorry to the MEAC. I got one right down the street from me at NC Central, but it's ugly. So I don't know if we could trust anybody to get it done in here, right? Like I think you could see one of these teams just totally go downhill, and then a team that's going to get demolished in the first round of the NCAA tournament is going to find their way in here somehow. But I think even if the best team makes it, they win the regular season and the tournament, I still think this is a team that's going to face a total blowout in the first round of the tournament.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's going to be Maryland Eastern Shore just because, yes, their record's awful, but it's because they really challenged themselves in their non-conference. You're looking at Georgia Tech, at Georgia, at Nebraska, at Creighton,
at Texas,
at Virginia Tech, at Texas. They got thumped in pretty much every one of those games, but
they paid for their program for the next 10 years.
That and is Coppin State going to be the same as Texas? No.
Yeah.
We've already seen these guys that can play well. No.
I feel like if I say go Birds, I got a 33% chance of being right.
Yeah.
33 1/3. I love it.
Oh, man. All right. Well, does anyone have anything else they want to talk about on these mid-majors, or if you can even call some of them that?
I've got one point that is kind of shocking, right? Like we talked about NIL spreading this stuff out, making these teams more even and everything. I think that lies solely with the power conferences, because I'm going through here and I'm scrolling and I'm looking at the conferences that are mid-majors against top 25 teams. first of all, some conferences, like specifically the Sun Belt, is kind of weird. Usually they match up with a decent amount of SEC teams. They have played hardly any top 25 teams. But if you look down, most of these conferences don't have a single upset against a high-ranking team. You know, we've seen in the past a Division II team, which it doesn't matter on the schedule because it's an early season thing, where a Division II team has stepped up and beaten, what was it, Kentucky one year when they did that?
Yeah.
But that's not happening right now. It's very strange to me. So if you go down of all the conferences that are not the Power Four conferences, and one of those is showing as the Big East, which we all kind of argued that it would probably be that fifth one in there. UConn is 5-1 against the top 25. Seton Hall 1-1. Butler 1-1. And then the only other conference that has a single win is the one with Gonzaga. Oh, I'm sorry, Grand Canyon's in there too with a 1-0 record. But if you take out
Utah State,
Yeah.
that was their one win.
yeah, and so if you take out UConn and Gonzaga, you've got three teams that have kind of sprung an upset. And I don't know if you'd call Seton Hall and Butler huge upsets because of their pedigree of being in the Big East, right? Like, I'm looking for like, what's the team that is going to spring that upset? Because now we're in conference play. There's not a whole lot of out-of-conference games left. It's going to be really interesting to see if anybody upsets anybody, you know, in the first round. They always happen, but it seems less likely than ever before with how I'm looking at the whole landscape. It's just weird.
The way I see it is with football, you had you don't have as many teams for the talent to level out to. In basketball, you've got 365 teams now in basketball. So it's going to level out in the power conferences first. You're seeing it in the West Coast Conference, how you got San Francisco and Santa Clara, and of course St. Mary's has been up there too. But you're starting to see those teams level out. You're starting to see like the Vanderbilts and the SEC; those teams start leveling out. So it's just taking longer to trickle down, where you get those bottom tier players from the Power Four conference trickling down into the mid majors. And that's only because there's so many teams to have to trickle down through to get those resounding upsets that you're talking about. Just my take on it.
I think, Dom, what you're saying too is you take all these players that like make a name for themselves in the lower levels, and then like a team like, I'll just say Kentucky, even though they're not as good as they used to be, they'll just go and give that kid an NIL deal that the school he's at can't afford, and then a kid that's highly touted maybe doesn't work out at Kentucky, he transfers. So now you're just like, it's just like NFL free agency pretty much, like year in and year out. So I think the talent is getting spread around, but then you also have these kids that maybe think that they're ready for the NBA, and then they get to the competitive level and they're just not cut out for it. And rather than being humbled and trying to work on their craft and get better, they just transfer out, and then the school just replaces them with somebody who's maybe a redshirt junior, senior. They come in and play like 6 man off the bench. I think that's what we're basketball. It's too easy to plug and play.
Yeah.
Is the spread around going to be to the the Wake Forest teams and the Cincinnati teams, where those kids that prove themselves in those mid majors come up and maybe they don't go to Florida or Duke or Carolina, but they get plugged in at Cincy or Wake or something like that? And I think we saw that in college football with Indiana: 0 5-stars, 7 4-stars, and a bunch of 3-star kids that were hungry.
And a bunch of 23-year-olds.
Yep.
Keep going.
And could the lifespan of basketball players now, where you get your one and done, flash in the frying pan kind of deals, going to the NBA and then not panning out, and okay, well, let's bring in the next round of talent to try and get that going. I know this directly contradicts my earlier argument about the NIL keeping kids in college, but could that be where you don't have that? You have to stay for 3 years. You can't declare for the NFL draft till after your sophomore or junior season.
Yeah.
Could that be why you don't see that trickle down as fast as what you saw in football? It's because kids are able to leave a lot earlier than what they are in football.
Now apparently you can play in the NBA G League and still go back to college.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think like.
Go ahead, Don. Or Casey.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think like the NBA, like the NFL has that 3-year rule because the kids aren't physically ready to play at the NFL level without getting hurt. The NBA doesn't. I mean, if anything, the NBA's gotten softer, so the physicality aspect of it's just not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's the current NBA rule on high school kids? Because we've gone back and forth in that lane so many times, I feel like, over the last 25 years.
I think it's still 1 year.
It's
Is it 1 year?
Yeah, if you're 1 year out, then you can go. I really like baseball's thing where it's like if you're going to declare out of high school, fine, declare out of high school. But if you don't, you have to stay in college for 3 years at least.
Yep. And you can also get redrafted, right? So like it's not a big deterrent to these kids because they could say, well, I didn't get drafted to a team that valued me and gave me any kind of massive contract. So now that I've gotten a name for myself and I'm hitting better ERA and everything else, like now I can re-enter the draft. I know that's not always the case, but sometimes it can be the case. And I like that aspect too.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up here. But first, Dominic, what about you? Your Shanta beer.
There it is.
It is empty now. It is empty. So I did do the job. But yeah, shout out Chanticleers. We called it a wave of winds since they're really not on the beach. They are beach adjacent, if you will. Conway is close to Myrtle Beach, but they like to say ball at the beach. They are balling quite well right now. So just another shout out to those guys.
All right. And we'll skip the non-alcoholic drinker of the night. Casey, is there anyone? I'm kidding. Is there anyone you want to shout out?
As far as drinking?
Yep. Or anything, since you're not drinking.
Shout out your cup, Casey.
Oh yeah, the old limited edition. Sam knows this one.
Yeah. Yep.
The limited edition Yeti.
I was there when you got it.
Yep. Good times.
Yep.
Sam making Boise State friends at the linebacker bar.
Yeah. Yeah. That was fun.
Good Sam.
Yeah. Well, we were there, and there was she was from Florida. I believe they were Notre Dame fans, but she came up and wanted a picture with Nick and I because she watches or her daughter watches our show, or sibling kid. Anyway, somebody in her family watched our Bronco Nation live. Like, oh, they'll never believe we met you, and so yeah, it's the highlight of my night.
You're famous.
You're famous.
Outside of Maddox Madsen tricking everybody in Notre Dame, including the entire sideline. Nobody knew he had the ball, running it in, albeit that was the only score. But it was still the highlight of the day.
It was a good moment.
Yeah. Josh, who you drinking tonight?
I'm going the Lone River Beverage Company out of Houston, Texas, for all you Texas guys.
All right. Yates?
Out of DFW and Farmers Branch, we got Three Nations Brewing. They have a lot of delicious stuff, but I'm sipping on this Texian Mexican-style lager tonight. Make sure you go out and get those.
Yep. And then I'm from the Carbach Brewing Company in Houston, limited edition can. Wait.
Now Sam's gone completely.
Goodbye.
My camera left me. There we go. It is a 6.8% All Seas IPA. Their fun series. Great beer. I liked it. Enjoyed sipping on it tonight. Beer for a fun time, not a long time. Well, it lasted me an hour and 35 minutes, so it lasted long enough. But the Carbach Brewing out of Houston, Texas. I didn't have my normal lineup of beers to go tonight because I'm on the road at work, so couldn't get anything rolling. But it is what it is. Anyone have any final thoughts for tonight?
Well, happy to hear you didn't have to wear a coat while doing the show tonight.
Yeah. Yes. Anybody? What games are you guys kind of looking forward to this weekend? Now that football's over with, I know I'm throwing one on you here late, throwing one on myself. I didn't realize I was going to ask that question until I just did.
I'm looking forward to Friday night, the Michigan Ohio State game, just because I know the schools hate each other, and I'm hoping secretly there's a fight.
So, Yates, your Washington upset of Nebraska does not look like it's going to happen.
It is
Yeah,
not
not
going to
close.
happen.
51-35.
Yeah, they're getting rolled.
Cincinnati hanging in there at halftime against Arizona, down 6, 27-31.
Yeah, I was trying to have a hot take. It was wrong. I was wrong. I disgraced myself. I disgraced the show. My bad.
Can you disgrace the show? Can you do that?
I don't know. I set the bar pretty low when we started. I don't know though. Saturday night does have, Saturday in general has Illinois and Purdue at 3, and then the night game is like Houston and Texas Tech. So Saturday night has some good games going.
Yeah.
Villanova and UConn has potential to be a upset.
That's the one I've got my eye on. I always like Villanova. So
you want
also Georgia, Texas? That's gonna be a pretty good matchup.
We'll be able to see how well your pretender status works. Virginia Tech and Louisville. If Louisville loses this one, they'll be out of the top 25 and probably forgotten about until tournament time.
Possibly. You got a mid-major matchup in the SoCon. 13-7 Mercer versus 13-7 Wofford. Both also have 5-2 records within the SoCon. So that's a big deal one right there.
Yeah.
North Carolina at Virginia, big one in the ACC. And as always, I don't know if we have any military listeners, but Army-Navy basketball game. That one often gets forgotten, but you know what? Appreciate any military members out there. Thank you guys for everything.
Yes, agreed.
Another mid-major matchup, a couple of them out of the Mountain West. UNLV coming on strong, just beat Utah State.
Yes, sir.
San Diego State at UNLV, and then Nevada's the surprise team in the Mountain West this year, probably outside of Grand Canyon, going down to the Pit in New Mexico. Both those games are on Saturday night as well. Well, Saturday afternoon for San Diego State, Saturday night for New Mexico. All right. Some good basketball this week. So get out there, watch a couple games, come to the show next Wednesday and tell us about them. But yeah, that'll do it for tonight, fellas. Thank you for joining me. We missed Nick tonight. He was taking care of some family stuff, but he'll be back next week, hopefully. And we'll have some more beers and conversations for you every Wednesday night right here, Bronco Nation Updates YouTube. We are on TikTok as well. But if you want to see the whole show on TikTok and be part of it and put in all your comments and stuff, have them read on air, go ahead and head on over to Bronco Nation Updates YouTube and watch them there. Our viewers on X, same to you, Bronco Nation Updates YouTube channel or Sunbelt Syndicate's YouTube channel, as Dom links his stuff with us as well. And same for you, TikTok. But if that's how you guys want to view us, then come on over. We love to get your comments and everything in there. Dom, Casey, Yates, Josh, thank you guys for joining us tonight. And until next week, y'all have a good one.